Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. We are going to talk about pelvic stability. So this whole how-to is basically I will try to explain you why it is so important to work on pelvic stability and what it actually means. So the pelvic is so important to focus on because it's the middle part of the body. So the pelvis is connecting the upper body to the lower body. So meaning if we have issues, if we have instability, if we have something asymmetric around the pelvis in the pelvic area, that will most likely affect either the upper body, the lower body, or both. So that's super important to work on. It's something that I talk a lot about when we do abdominal work, because the abdominals are a big part of supporting the pelvis. I want us to do some small exercises so you can not just hear it but also feel it in your body. So if you come down on your mat to lying on the back, feet are placed in the mat, hip width apart, bent knees. You can place your hands onto your hips, good. And let's just see if we can activate the muscles around the pelvis, the core. So you're going to start by just taking a long inhale. And relax, just totally relax on your exhale. Good, again, so you take a long inhale to just relax on your exhale. Good. Now we're going a little bit further than just breathing. So you're going to take a long inhale, and on your exhale, you want to try to gather your sit bones. Now it's getting a little bit complicated already. You will hear me say this all the time. So it's almost a feeling of the pelvis getting a little bit smaller in the back. Just try it, okay? So we're going to take a long inhale. Just relax on your inhale. And on your exhale, try to gather your sit bones, make the back of your pelvis a little bit smaller. It's not squeezing the glutes, it's not moving anything, so this is just really a feeling. And relax again, take an inhale one more time. So exhale, find your sit bones, pull them together. And relax and take an inhale one more time. So exhaling, bringing the back of the pelvis together, make it a little bit smaller. And relax to take an inhale. You're going to work on the front of the pelvis as well. So you're going to take a long inhale. You're going to exhale, find those sit bones again. Now find your hip bones. You can really feel your hip bones here in front of your pelvis. And see if you can pull those a little bit together. So the feeling of those moving towards the center. And relax on your inhale. Good. Again, so inhale, just relax. Exhale, find your sit bones. Pull your hip bones together so the front of the pelvis is getting smaller. And relax on your inhale. Let's take two more like this. So exhale, finding the sit bones, pull them together. Find your hip bones, pull them together. You should feel those deep lower abdominals starting to work. And relax on your inhale. Good, last time. And bringing sit bones, hip bones. Let's just connect the breath, the ribs, bring the ribs a little bit together down towards your hip. So now try to keep that. We have the whole core activated. So we're trying to engage the pelvic floor, the transverse abdominals, and the diaphragm, the breath. Good. So you should feel it's not super tense, but you still have that activation of your deepest core, okay? Good. So from here, you're going to take just relax and breathe. You're going to take a long inhale. just to find those sit bones, hip bones, ribs again. Now keep it, keep that activation. And now lift your right leg up into your tabletop. Nothing is allowed to change. Good. So keep your hands on your hips. We're going to go for toe taps. So we're just going to bring the right leg slowly down towards the floor. You're going to make sure that nothing around your pelvis is changing. And lift it back up again. Just that. Okay, so just practicing that pelvic stability. So inhale, bring your leg down. Keep the lower abs active. Exhale, pull the leg back up. Good. 2 more like this. Inhale down. And exhale up. Good. And the last one. Inhale down. And exhale up. Great. Good. Just relax for a second. Just look once. So what I don't want to happen is when we're bringing the leg down, if we're not thinking about the abdominals, I'm over exaggerating, then my pelvis will fall and I'm going to go into big hyperextension. That's what we're not going to do when moving the legs. And of course, one leg is easy to move. As soon as we're going for 2 legs or straight legs or a single leg stretch or whatever, then we need even more pelvic stability. Okay, let's just go for the left leg. Then lift the left leg up into your tabletop. Keep it here. Keep your hands onto your pelvis and really try to be picky with these toe taps. Just because, as I said before, as soon as we're lifting 2 legs, going into movement, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to stabilize. We're really trying to be picky here, really feeling the work, just with 1 leg, just practicing, okay? Good, so just take an inhale. Exhale, find your sit bones, hip bones, ribs again. Keep that active, and then inhale again. Tip your toes down towards the floor, nothing's changing. Exhale, bring your leg back up, nice. Just 3 more here. Inhale, going down. Make sure that the pelvis is not changing at all. And bring it back up. Good. Let's take 2 more. Inhale down. And exhale up. Last one. Inhale down. And exhale up. Good. Now stay here. We're going to make it harder. So we're going to float the other leg up as well. But before you do that, really engage your abdominals. Now you need to work twice as hard as you did before. So find your abs more, find your ribs more, keep your hands on your pelvis, make sure that nothing is changing, and then lift your right leg up in slow motion. Stay here. Good. So if nothing has changed and nothing did change, then really good job. Otherwise, you want to do it again. So let's bring the left leg down into the mat as slow as possible. Again, keep working. Keep your pelvis stable and bring the right leg back down into the floor. Good. Just look once again before we do it 1 more time. So I'm lifting the right leg up. If I don't do anything when I lift the left leg up, then this will happen. A lot of shifting, a lot of movement. So I really want to keep that right leg where it is, and then without anything changing, lifting the other leg up as well. Good. So we're just going to go into 2 leg lifting, 2 leg back into the floor. And that's a great way to practice this pelvic stability, okay? So keep your hands on your pelvis. Again, make sure that nothing is changing. Take a long inhale to find your sit bones, hip bones, ribs. And now lift your right leg slowly up into your tabletop. Stay there. Find your abdominals even more. Make sure that nothing is changing. And then float your left leg in slow motion up as well. So it's a lot of abdominal work. Stay here. Keep it. Now we're going to bring the right leg back down into the floor. It takes a little bit more of an effort to keep the pelvis still. All the way into the mat. Nice. And bring the left leg down as well. So we're just going to do this 1 more time. So you're going to lift the left leg up first. Slowly up. Good. Gather your abdominals even more. Float the right leg up as well. Really, really nice. Good. Breathe, find your abs a little bit more. Bring the left leg slowly down, make sure the pelvis is not changing. And bring the right leg down as well. Perfect. So that was very quick on a how-to on pelvic stability. So the pelvic stability is so important in whatever we're doing. If we're doing rotation work, we want the pelvis to stay still. If we're doing leg lift, like the tabletop, the single leg stretches, crisscross, all of these things, we want a stable pelvis. It goes for functional training, it goes for weight lift, it goes for anything that we do. So it's super important. It's one of the, to me, it's one of the most important things to work on when you start your training. I often hear people getting lower back pain when they're doing abdominal work, especially those leg lift, the tabletops and leg stretches. And that's gives me as a teacher an idea of that they don't have a stable pelvis, because ab work is not supposed to make your back hurt. Nothing is supposed to make your back hurt. And basically, for those of you who get this when you do your training, feel your lower back a little bit too much, think about the pelvis more, think about the pelvic stability more, because that will for sure make it much more easy for you to finish your abdominal work without any lower back pain. So if you feel that lower back pain, then you know where to set in. Yeah, I hope this was a help. You will hear me talk about this pelvic stability over and over and over again in all of the videos. I can't explain this enough. This sit bone, hip bone, ribs, you will hear it again and again and again. So just keep practicing. Keep doing this on your own. Keep doing this with the videos. And have fun with it. So it's a learning process. So we're not good at this right away. That's perfectly fine, because we want to keep on learning, keep on growing. Thank you for joining me today on this how-to, and I hope to see you again soon.